Hi guys, my name's Rolando Alegre, and this video will be about the treatment of ethnic minorities here in America. When I say ethnic minorities, I mean like Latinos, African and Native American people. So I separated this paper into three parts. In the first part of the essay, I introduced the issue of treatment of minorities and tell my audience how minorities are treated in the US and give some facts and connections from various sources that we've used during class, mostly Henslin, the house that we live in, and the White Like Me videos. The second part of the essay was answering the question why these minorities are being treated like this, and I give some examples from Henslin and more to answer this question. The third part and last part is what I think could be the best solution for this issue based on the information that Henslin, the White Like Me video, and our speaker Manuel Redas provided to us. Okay, so now I'm gonna talk about some examples in each of these parts, and I'm gonna start with how people are being treated. Okay. Well, I start talking about how right after slavery ended, it was replaced by what Henslin calls a racial caste system, which is a form of social stratification, in which people's statuses and lifelong conditions were determined since they are born. These meant minorities were treated unequally since they started coming to the country. As stated on the house that we live in video, most immigrants worked on the hardest and less paid jobs, consisting of mostly African Americans, Mexicans, and Chinese during these harsh labor jobs. For example, about 58 of mining workers were immigrants, and just because of statistics showed that most immigrants worked on this type of jobs, white people thought that minorities were stupid, lazy, and the total opposite of a white man. That's why mostly immigrants have these types of jobs and are not given the opportunity to overcome the racial caste system. During this same movie, when creating the structure of how the U.S. would live, we could see a term Hensling used. He called it population transfer of minorities, and shows how they were moved to certain areas of the city. They call this racially integrated neighborhoods. In other words, categorized neighborhoods, and most of minorities now live in what is known as a vertical ghettos, which are normally separated from white, less dangerous neighborhoods. There are also middle class people which live in mixed areas, but this separation and type of segregation was integrated into the community when the US was developing. That's why it is so hard to have a more equitable environment. Also, during the Why Like Me movie, it showed something that Henslin called ethnic cleansing, which is trying to eliminate or take out a certain population of a place by force. When looking for drugs, police would mostly go to black and Latino neighborhoods, not white. And of course, this oppression towards minorities had some type of impact towards these minorities. According to Henslin, it made it more difficult for ethnic minorities to move upward in the social class ladder. Henslin called this the upward social mobility. This made most of minorities be poor. Henslin showed how minorities were the ones that had the highest percentages of poverty. Native Americans had 31%, African Americans 28%, Latinos 27%, while whites only had 13% and Asian Americans 12%. Here in table 9.4, we can see how African Americans and Latinos had the highest percentage of income with less than $15,000, while white and Asian Americans had over 100,000, had a higher percentage with over $100,000 of income. There are also other things like education, in which whites and Asian Americans had a higher percentage of getting a college degree than Latinos, African American, and natives. Latinos and also African Americans had a higher college dropout, as you guys can see here. Um, Also, the the divorce rate was higher than the rest of the ethnicities. And the truth is that these treatments really affect these families and physical health, mental health, and family life in general, resulting in the rich getting richer and poor getting poorer. But why exactly are minorities treated like this in this country? One of US society values is group superiority according to Henslin. This means white Americans want to be ethnically superior than the rest. Henslin gives examples of killing Native Americans and having slaves. Of course, no one likes it when their values are threatened. So, white people fear to lose their group's superiority value. That is why sometimes they're violent towards minorities and try to make them be as inferior as they can. One way they do this is through the media, for example. The media chooses what they want the population to see, which mostly consists of African Americans and Latinos doing bad things. As we saw in um, Moore's movie, Bowling for Columbine, he stated that news and TV shows like Cops demonize Hispanic and black people, showing them as scary and making people believe their community is more dangerous than it really is. Uh, Henslin calls this action towards minorities the labeling theory. It consists of people saying something about a certain person, resulting in that certain person having the same perception that other people have on him or her. As a consequence of this, minorities commit crime, and as Henslin shows here on table 6.3, uh, African American people have the highest percentage of prisoners, with a 38.1%. So, what can be the solution for all of these problems? We've heard that if people started being more colorblind, as the Why Like Me video suggested, racism and the bad treatment of minorities would stop. But that won't work because white folks will always be here and will always defend their values and will always want to be superior. But hey, I got some good news. According to Hensley, the percentage of minority population are increasing each year even more. As we can see here, um, along the years, while the population increases, um, the European descendants, which are the white people, their population decreases while the minorities increase. Um, this might make our population be more united and maybe more equal, and minorities might be able to have more of a say and not be as inferior as they are right now. The best thing to do for now is to follow the ideas that the speaker that came to class said to us and said to do. Manuel Ruedas, who overcame a very difficult life situation, as we all heard, when he was in class, his advice for everyone is to find a mentor that will help them, use the resources that you have in your schools or whatever, wherever you are. And he talked about us using programs or joining programs like the Puente program, Mesa, and CARE program if needed. Also apply to fee waivers to help people, minorities financially, and join clubs to enrich their resumes. This is the best minorities can do if they want to succeed in here in the U.S. And just do as much as they can of themselves, because unfortunately, not everyone is born with the luck that the white people have in this country. So, I handed out some papers. It would be great if you guys could answer the questions, and maybe we can talk about it during class. You guys can share a little bit of what you guys think and what solutions you guys have. Have a great day.